Hello, welcome. We are at Mill Fork Cemetery today up Spanish Fork Canyon. The reason I wanted to stop by this graveyard is because a lot of the deaths here happen in tragedies. I will explain a couple deaths here today. I know there's quite a few graves here, so I don't know the story of all of them, but kind of the history behind the location itself is that this area was established in about the 1870s. It was a mill, and there was a small city here to my right, which we're going to actually head up this canyon here in a little bit so that we can check it out. But basically, there was a mill here with a couple towers, houses, shops, and things like that. But about the 1930s, the town was pretty much desolate at that point, and there's actually no remnants at all. But we're going to go up the canyon in a little while and check it out. But first, let's head on into the graveyard. So I'm going to mention just a couple of the graves that are here. There's a family here that was brutally massacred by Native Americans as they were traveling through this area, and their family is buried here. Another death that occurred here was in 1905 when a 9-year-old girl was behind her brother, and her brother was lifting a 100-pound sack of grain, and it ended up falling on top of her and killing her. There's some other people that were buried here as well that also died in some pretty horrific accidents. One person was actually in the winter quarters explosion in 1900, and he's buried here. There's a couple others that died in some mining accidents as well, in explosions, not from the same mine though, but died in some mining explosions, probably around Price area, Helper. There's also one person here who was down by Castledale, and he was crushed by a cart as it was coming out of the mine, and it mangled his body pretty good. There's also a couple here that had an interesting story. The names were Viola Chadwick and Paris Ballard, who actually was the husband. So they grew up in Spanish Fork Canyon and then moved to Salt Lake. And while in Salt Lake, the husband started to get suspicions that his wife was cheating on him. And one night they had a huge argument, and he ended up shooting her and then himself. And they both ended up in this cemetery. So there's another tragic death as well. So there's quite a few deaths in here that ended dramatically. So the graveyard has quite a history to it. So after I kind of just walk around and show you guys some graves that are positioned here, we'll start to head up the canyon and see if we can see any remains from the old town that used to be here. Okay, I've been going pretty quickly as you can see. I haven't really focused on the graves exactly, but that gives you guys the opportunity to come up here and explore for yourselves and look at the graves and who they were. But this is an awesome place. Okay, here's one last look at the graveyard before we head up the canyon just to see if there's anything else regarding the old town that used to be here. So we're going to head up there right now. Alright, so we've headed up the canyon a good ways, and to show you guys back here, we've probably hiked about a mile or so. We stopped right here because I believe this area may have actually been where one of the mills was, just right here in this intersection. It's kind of a deeper area, steep, and it's open. So I'm thinking this may have been part of one of the mills. Up above there may have been where one of the towers could have been. I don't exactly know, I'm kind of speculating here, but this looks like a hard area to have a town, but it looks kind of flat, so definite possibility. So I don't know exactly where everything was located, but we just wanted to see if maybe there's anything here, but it looks like it's been pretty cleaned out, so not much left here, but just wanted to show you guys what it looked like. Okay, so I'll just show you a little bit more footage, and then we'll end there. Thanks so much for watching.